Hashtag another episode, Saints Twitter podcast coming at you. It's draft season, Ryan. Like we here, baby.
In it.
We about to be disappointed yet again on draft day, ready for it. And leading up to the draft, I've picked up draft fever. I had a case at work that was stressing me out. Got that case off my chest. Now
Destiny arise, boy. Thanos told you. Thanos say Destiny arise once again, baby.
Out of Shawshank, baby. I'm like, I have had the draft bug lately. And as you know, I've always been interested in like following like the Saints draft trends, dating back to fucking writing articles at fucking Draft Mecca, talking about
Draft Mecca.
Bro, I'm taking it back.
Hey.
So it's always been something that's just been very interesting to me, being that we're both draftniks. And with the help of my girl, shout out to my girl, J-Ron, statistician, I have this data in terms of just tracking shit, and I've had it for years. I've always added to it in terms of draft prospects that the Saints have drafted. Position, the conference, whatever it is. And then I started having like this idea a couple of years ago, and I was like, if we could just put like measurables in there and athletic profiles, and like maybe we could have an idea of, extrapolating that into incoming draft classes to see who fits the Saints, profile type in terms of athletic profiles based on positions. And like a dummy, I was like, shit, like my girl literally is a statistician. She does stats for a living, very similar to Cynthia Freelands and what she does. And so, she's been working all weekend, crunching the numbers. And so what we're going to share on this podcast, and Ryan and I are going to talk about the players and kind of, what we find interesting is what the potential athletic profile is for the Saints regarding certain positions. Not every position, we didn't go through every position, but certain positions we did hit up. We hit up wide receiver, we hit up linebacker, cornerback, safety, and defensive end. I think those are the only positions we hit up. Didn't hit up defensive tackle, didn't hit up offensive lineman. Besides those, like those are the important ones. And it was interesting, and we're gonna go through like the numbers, and it's gonna be a very nerdy podcast. We're also doing this video podcast as a precursor for our live stream, testing it out. It won't be on Zoom. We will be doing it through YouTube Live. But we need to get the fucking juices flowing in the video, sharing screens and things like that. But before we get into like the athletic profile and everything, and I'm gonna talk about anything that interesting that me and her were talking about, was perfect example. Cam Jordan's combine numbers, Marcus Davenport's combine numbers. Is that an example of the Saints changing their athletic profile in terms of what they look for in a draft prospect? Or is that just a natural progression of NFL just becoming players just being more athletic, and the whole league is trending where they're just drafting more athletes, and athletes in general coming into the league are more athletic? So very interesting, very nerdy shit. So if you're into numbers and stuff like that, this is going to be the pod for you. This is going to be the first time that we're going to do a pod and share screens and stuff like that. So let's get into it. We're actually, before we get into the actual numbers, we're just going to get into the trends that I have kept track of all the way back to 2006. Since Sean Payton took over the team. Obviously, Jeff Ireland kind of but oversees drafting since 2015. And it's just interesting. Like, give me a position, Ryan. Just give me a position.
Cornerback.
Cornerback? All right. So cornerbacks, it's interesting that I would say since Jeff Ireland has kind of taken over, the secondary in general has been his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
In terms of hitting on players, I'll even add safety
Yeah.
To the mix. So you just see secondary in general. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, that's a hit. Marshawn, obviously a hit. Marcus Williams, a hit. Von Bell, a hit. PJ Williams. Someone was like on me like early this morning, like, why is PJ Williams green? And I'm like, PJ Williams was drafted in the 3rd round, and he's going on his 6th season. Like, and he has shown to be a decent nickel starting cornerback. Like, is he?
Yeah.
Like that's a hit for NFL.
That's a hit in the 3rd round. That's a hit. You know what I'm saying?
That's a hit. That's a hit.
Like, would you want him to be like a great starting cornerback? Of course, but that's not what he is. He is he's a middle class roster guy. You just have him across the league. Guys play 10 years like that. They're just middle class. They start for some games. They back up for some games. Like, that's the majority of the NFL, actually.
Do you know who also was drafted in the 3rd round for the Saints that PJ was drafted in?
Who?
Garrett Grayson.
Where you at?
Just saying. Like, people. Have you seen it? I'm just saying, like, people want to get on PJ for being green. Garrett Grayson out the league right now. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real.
I'm just saying.
So 1, 2, 3. That's 5 hits, all secondary, that Jeff Ireland has hit on. Every single one of them. That's impressive.
That is impressive, man. It's impressive, bro. Like, I mean.
And shout out to Kev on Twitter for kind of pointing it out. When I was kind of posting the information on Twitter and posting the charts on Twitter, like, that's an impressive feat, bro. Like, absolutely.
And through that information, they tell you their strengths.
Yes.
In evaluating. And we had this discussion last week. We were talking about drafting linebacker versus cornerback or whatever. It's like,
let's pull it up.
It's just that they have that. Good God. That's horrible, son. That is horrible. Horrible.
I was talking to my girl, and I honestly feel like I should change Marvin Mitchell to a green, being a 7th round pick. He started 2 seasons for us. Like, I feel like that's a green in terms of where he was drafted. Okay.
Who?
You don't remember Marvin Mitchell?
I remember, but come on, bro.
Okay. He'll stay yellow. All right, he'll stay yellow. just look at it, man. Like, that is depressing.
Now, I know what people say, like, the Saints haven't really drafted linebackers high, but look, most of the linebackers in the NFL, starting linebackers aren't 1st round picks.
They aren't. So glad you brought that up. So linebacker, position mean average by round. So that means average where Saints have since 2006 have drafted linebackers.
Your girl was cooking, huh?
Oh no, this is all me.
Oh, all right.
This is me, bro.
College educated.
This is me, bro. Well, I'm gonna pull up. We're gonna go to what my girl did on another spreadsheet. This is all me. 4.7. Like, are you going to get a starting NFL linebacker? You continue to draft linebackers in that range? Like, the only linebacker they've invested a 1st round pick in, we know who it is. Stephon. Just saying, man. Speaking of the debate, we're talking about linebacker, cornerback. Let's go to wide receiver. They know how to get wide receivers, bro. Like,
never been a doubt.
Like, if they draft a wide receiver. I didn't know where to label Traquan. I put him yellow. Like,
I would put him at green. I mean, I'd put him at green. Yeah, I would. I mean, how many touchdowns does he have? Like,
he does. He puts it in the paint, bro. He puts it in the paint.
I don't know. Do you want more? Absolutely. Absolutely. We should get more out of him. But I think, I don't think he's just starting for the Saints. I think he would start for at least he would play for most teams.
Yes.
But just not be a
starter. He probably like a wide receiver 3
right
ish on most teams, for sure.
But I mean, if Traquan's a yellow, like, I'll take that. Like, I'll take a yellow Traquan. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
easy.
Yeah,
easy.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we could name it's interesting how little we've drafted wide receivers though. That's a short list.
So it's funny. My girl said that in the last, I believe she said in the last 7 years, the Saints have only drafted 2 wide receivers. Michael Thomas and Traquan.
So fascinating, especially when you consider the Saints being considered like this passing lead, this passing team. They just don't invest heavily in wide receiver in the draft.
And so the question is, did they not invest into wide receivers because they had Drew Brees that could take chicken shit into chicken soup, and now Drew ain't here no more, bro. He gone. He in San Diego enjoying his kids. So now is the time where they like shit. Like we have to get talent at the wide receiver position.
I guess the question is, was that a Drew Brees thing or was that a Sean Payton thing saying, hey, I mean, my route concepts shits on everybody. I will get guys open. I don't care if it's, Andy Tanner or,
bro. You say that, and the first game I think of is that Chiefs game, bro. Trying to throw 50-50 balls to Javon Johnson.
Man, listen, I'm telling you. I'm just saying, So I don't know. It's that ego thing. The ego thing, I don't know if that's Sean or Drew, or just think because Drew was so accurate and he could make shit out of sugar, man. Like, I mean, just think about all the UDFAs and guys that sign off the street that Drew Brees has thrown to over the years. It's kind of ridiculous. Just looking at this list is like, so they've drafted 5 legitimate good receivers.
Yes. And you can
in 15 years.
And that's if you throw Traquan in there, that's 6.
Let's just say 6. Let's just say 6.
Right.
6 legitimate good receivers. One was Brandon Cooks been to Pro Bowl, right?
Who fucking knows? Sure.
Let's just call him a Pro Bowler. So that's 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers. Marcus Costa should be 1 too, but whatever.
Yes. Don't get me started.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So when they typically draft wide receivers, they hit. Let's go to everyone's favorite position, offensive line. Pretty
about above average, like
pretty
good.
Not pretty good, bro.
Yeah,
because the ones that they have, like Zach Sharif, starting right tackle,
like for 10 years, like a long-term right tackle. Jerry Evans, like a borderline Hall of Famer.
Jermon Bushrod in the 4th round,
like was a starter for 2 teams as a Super Bowl team.
The Saints, the Bears, and the Dolphins. Dolphins. Carl Nitz.
All pro. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. So a lot of people might not remember Andrew Tiller. Sorry. This man was still a starting guard in the NFL 2 years ago for the 49ers. Completely but I was like, Andrew Tiller, I was like, I know that fucking name. And I was like, that's a former Saint. Like, if you can stay in the league that long, and that's a hit in the 6th round.
Yeah. Right.
Teron, don't gotta say much about Teron. Ryan Ramczyk, don't gotta say much about him. So this is why
got Pete yellow, man. Pete got a second contract, bro. Pete is green, man.
No.
He's green.
Stop.
I'm sorry, bro.
Stop.
Hey, listen, I'll make the rules. Michael Lombardi said if he gets to a second contract, that's a good draft pick. And he got paid. It's stupid. It's stupid that
here's where I can see your standpoint, because if the Saints wasn't going to pay him, the Chiefs were.
Yeah.
Like he's still yellow, bro. I'm sorry, I can't.
He green, bro. He green. I'm just saying another, like, just like the other player I talked about. He would play for most teams. I know we shit on him, and I like look. I mean, you can check my timeline. I shit on Andrews Pete the most, but he does have quality snaps. He has some shitty snaps, a lot of them that are very impactful and ruin games.
And he, like, I guess, plus it's the injury factor. So he has a lot of shitty snaps, and then
the injury. I'm not saying he's a great player. Like, I wouldn't have re-signed him. I'm just saying as a draft pick, they drafted him high. They shouldn't have, they paid him too much. But, if they took him in the, end of the second round and they paid him $3 million a year, we wouldn't really be complaining about it too much. He's just overhyped, overpaid, so.
Can't do it, bro. Can't do it. Can't make him green, bro.
Man is green, bro.
Can't make him green.
I agreed on Will Clap, you heard me? Like, clap. My man Clap, you heard me?
Clap him up. Like, so this is why we've typically given them a pass when they draft him.
I just get so mad looking at Rick Leonard, bro. Like,
one of the few times when he was drafted, NFL Network, ESPN, nothing, bro.
Nothing. Who?
No cut-ups.
And he went to Florida State, so it's not like he was at some tiny school. It was just like, I don't know. I
guarantee you Rick Leonard was not on anyone else's draft board. Guarantee.
Nobody, bro.
Guarantee you. So that was O-line. Let's see. Let's look at these edges.
Man, they didn't address the edge at all, huh?
Listen, if you go to average of edges, third-ish round.
And that's average by the league or average by the Saints?
By the Saints.
It's interesting.
Third-ish round. Like, obviously, Trey hit. Muhammad hit, even though he's not with the Saints. Cam Jordan hit. Rob Ninkovich, that's the one that Sean Payton still hates that got away. But they've only drafted 2 in the first round. Cameron Jordan and 2 first. Very interesting.
You know what? I mean, it says a lot too. We've been blessed with like good pass rush the past couple of years, but
they also picked. Before he went fucking nuts, you got someone like Junior Gillette, who was an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
So part of this data, and something I was actually talking to my girl about, is like, I would want to go back and then add undrafted free agents. Your Pierre Thomases, your Junior Gillettes, Marquez Callaways, Deontay Harris, whoever that have hit, and factor them or Josh Hill that have hit and factor them into the data as well. Because right now these are only players that the Saints have drafted.
And as far as athletic profile, when it comes to UDFA, like the athletic profile plays a huge part. Like with Josh Hill, like it was almost all athletic profile.
His spark score was same thing with Dan Arnold.
Yeah, exactly. It was like athlete, get him in, and we'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Which makes sense as a UDFA, because you just want to tap, untapped potential or whatever.
Potential. So this is defensive tackles. It's the position when they draft a defensive tackle. Like, that's why I get skittish when they draft a defensive tackle in the first round.
But they did pretty good.
But not in the first round. They haven't.
No.
Sheldon Rankin.
That's weird.
Cedric Ellis.
Ugh.
Anyone else? John Jenkins is still in the league right now,
Still
Ryan.
in the league, bro. But that's a Ryan Pace thing.
No, I don't even think he's with the Bears anymore. He signed with another team. No.
Oh, okay.
Still in the league.
He's a big dude, man. It's hard to find big dudes like that.
Al Woods, LSU.
Al Woods was in the league for a while, bro.
Still in the league, bro.
I'll just be watching a random game. I'm like, man, look at Al Woods, man.
When LSU Twitter get upset, but no, we drafted Al Woods. We drafted Will Clapp.
I'll never forget watching the YouTube of Al Woods getting a call. He was getting a call, he was getting drafted by the Saints. That was after the Super Bowl year. And he was just at his house, wherever he lived at, just jumping up and down. I was like, damn, that dude pretty athletic, just watching him jump. Like, he was jumping about 50 inches, man. I was like, damn, he athletic. Yeah.
But yeah, like, if they draft a defensive tackle in the later rounds, they've hit, but the early rounds has not been kind to them.
But it hadn't been a lot, period. Like,
no, it hasn't. It hasn't. Let's go to the other sheet. They've drafted 8 defensive tackles, 7 defensive ends, 7 edges, tons of cornerbacks and safeties because for the longest time just needed the help.
Man.
And then if you look offensively, also interesting. Like most of their allocation of picks have been on the defensive side of the ball, which makes sense with the Drew Brees era.
That is very fascinating.
Also, did I change this when I added? Yeah, I did. So this is picks by conference. So the most big conference that they've drafted from is the Big Ten. Obviously, a lot of those are coming from Ohio State, what have you. But but what surprised me was tied for second is the ACC. Like I get the SEC, so it's just interesting to go through the data. So then, like you look at it and say, okay, so if that's their conference, let's say Big Ten. So what's been their percentage of hitting players from the Big Ten? So quite a bit. So you see why they kind of go back to that well of Big Ten players because it's been good. It's been good to them.
Yeah.
But the ACC, I was looking, I was like, those don't look too good, bro. That's a lot of red, bro.
Yeah, man.
And then I'll finish it off with the SEC. That's a lot of green.
Man,
it's a lot of green, bro.
That's a lot of green and yellow.
Yeah, like even if
like don't shit on yellow. Like
Anzalone for sure.
Was yellow. Anzalone was yellow. No,
I don't know why. I don't know why Tommy Stevens is yellow. He's for sure red.
Oh,
sorry.
No.
Sorry.
For now, at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sorry. Don't know how that happened. But yeah, that's a lot of fucking yellow and green. Like the SEC has been very nice to the Saints.
Yeah.
The conference that they've shot away from the most is the Big 12 and the Big East, but the Big East don't. Yeah. There's Big 12. So let's just go by conference, pull up the Big 12. Got Kenny, got 2 Kennys, got Carl. That's literally it. Stan Jean Baptiste.
Oh my God. So basically, pretty much the Ireland administration really hadn't the Big 12. Other than Marcus Murphy, maybe.
Yes, besides Marcus, that's it. And then let's finish it off with Pac-12. A lot of it's been a mixed bag.
Yeah, mixed bag. Yeah,
mixed bag.
And that's the Pac-12. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense. You got a lot of skill positions. You got Pete and Davison, Charles Brown. Oh man,
good old Charles. Good old Charles, bro.
But not much sense. We got Marcus Williams.
No, I think that's really it.
I think Ireland. I think what we see from Ireland is he's more focused on the South, the Big Ten. I think that's kind of. I think we could take something away from that. I don't know. Maybe not. You know,
we can like look. This is 2020. 2 Big Tens, SEC. 19 SEC, Big Ten. The Davenport draft. That was fucking all over the place.
All over the place.
What a gross fucking draft, bro. And then the draft, the historic draft, Big Ten, Pac-12, SEC. Like it's
the first early rounds is Big Ten and SEC, right?
Yep, sure is.
Okay,
that's a good catch. Even if you look to, 2016 was a little different because they drafted Sheldon from the ACC, but
Louisville was weird,
Followed up with Big Ten, and then the first Island draft. It was a completely fucking mixed bag. Pac-12, all over the place.
Yeah, that was his first draft, so I don't know how much influence he had.
And then he kind of came in late, like a little late in the game.
Like during the Senior Bowl, he got that text.
Can we talk about this draft right here, though?
Man, like, okay, you don't hit on your 2 5s and your 6. Okay. But damn, bro, like,
bruh. So to me,
Kyrie Ford. Oh my god,
you in a biopic now, bruh. Playing somebody in the movie.
Look at 2013 though, bro. Like that was a shitty draft.
Shit draft, bro. Shit draft.
For most teams, that draft sucked.
And they came out, bro.
Like Kenny Vaccaro, he was a good, solid player. I mean, Armstead, one of the best left tackles. Jenkins still in the league. Stills, we traded him, but he was a good wide receiver for us. Like, man, Rufus Johnson played for a little bit for like the Patriots and shit. And he did some other things I ain't gonna mention, but look at them drafts there though. Oof. Like that right there. Like, I'm serious though. Those drafts there were key to the waste of Drew Brees.
Yes. Talk about it.
Like, the 12, 13, 14. I mean, I know we went to the playoffs 13, 14, 15. Like, those are the drafts that kind of led into not having that solid core, because your core from 2006, from the early drafts, they were getting old by that time. So you didn't really replenish your roster. Right. And then you had to pay Drew Brees and all that stuff. So, those drafts around that time, around 2012, 13, 14, they really cost the Saints probably another Super Bowl during that time.
So look how bad the 2008 draft was too, man.
Ooh.
Did hit on. I mean, Sad played like 2 good seasons and then he was done, bro.
Done. Like, he didn't care no more, bro. Like, he was. I remember as soon as this season was over, like his rookie contract was over, he was just like done. Like, like he was on the cover of some like car magazine.
Yeah, he was really in the cars and shit, bro.
Like, I'm done, man. Like, I made enough money.
Okay, so this is the question though. Which draft you taking?
6, boy.
You taking that 06?
Hell, 6 something.
You taking that 06? You taking that 17?
Like, if you judge by like all pros and Pro Bowls and all that stuff, 17 is the best. But to me, that 06, they laid the foundation for a Super Bowl championship to me, man. Like, so that's the one for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, look, Roman Harper, you can pick holes in this game. Rob Ninkovich, he wasn't with the Saints. Zach Strief, he wasn't a starter until after the Super Bowl. But like, man, Colston, Bush, Jyree Evans, like, them dudes solidified the core of the Saints Super Bowl year, man. Like,
absolutely.
For me, that's the, that was the draft. But 2017 right there, like,
this is the draft. Obviously, they signed Drew Brees this year, but this is the draft that brought the Saints back. Like, brought them respectability in the league.
Right, exactly.
Signing Drew, getting Peyton in this draft.
That's it right there. And for them to just hold on to guys like Zach Strief, I mean, I wish they could have figured out Rob Ninkovich. Like, whatever.
Man, if you bring Rob Ninkovich up to Sean Payton to this day, Did you know that one time they had they were going to sign Arian Foster?
I know that story very well.
And you know what's interesting to me? Because I was going through the data. Look at this. Only 3. They've only drafted 3 tight ends since 2006.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
3,
man.
bro.
Like that goes against everything that you think,
3. That's it.
Liz Mack, baby.
And Super Bowl champion, Alizé Mack.
Yeah.
Put some respect on his name. He won a title with the Chiefs. So when we get to my girls' data, the reason why we didn't include tight end and tight end prospects, like there's a sample size of 3. Like you can't really deduce anything like you could, but it's such a small sample size. Like you're not going to be able to really tell anything in terms of what they're truly looking for and prospect at the tight end position.
Right.
So I'm going to switch to running back, and then we're going to get to the prospects for this year. Some hits, some misses. Most overall, they hit. Boston Scott, Alvin, Mark, Reggie, complete with Antonio, and then two seventh round running back. So
yeah, like it's a good list. Like
it is.
That list is justification for not paying any running back. I know they play Kamara, so but Kamara is different,
Different.
So, but other than that, it's like they got the eye for it. You know what I'm saying?
They do. They got the eye for. Like, let's just look at an interesting thing. You brought it up. Let's just look at skill position players, just in general, right? That's like when they draft offense, not all the time, but most times when they go offense, like they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, man. And it just speaks to, Sean Payton being an offensive head coach, having a good eye for talent on the offensive side. It just speaks to it, man. It just makes 100% sense. It's the advantage the Saints have when they approach the draft.
Yes.
But conversely, the disadvantage they have on defense.
Thank you for breaking it up. Like
that's not that bad though.
It's not that bad though. It's not. It really isn't.
It's not that bad.
I will say, and when we had our pod about the dynasty that wasn't, to me, it's this draft right here. Right here. Like, yeah. I can get over not drafting Patrick Mahomes, right? At 11, right? And all this would have been changed. But this draft, because especially when you think about it, they gave up a first in this year, like it just strapped them. That's it. And even if you put Traquan as green, who knows what the fuck happens with 2 firsts, and then just misses. That's tough.
Yeah.
And then with the last year's draft, I mean, right now everyone's yellow because we ain't seen it, bro.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
We ain't seen it. So I don't know. But let's get into the data. This is it. So shout out to my girl, J-Ron. Much love to you. So this is from 06, 2020. These are the median draft profiles of players that the Saints have drafted in this what's that, a 16-year window ish, 15 years, whatever you want to say. So just as a note, there are some players, when we scroll down to the players, they hit all the metrics included. Some of the players only have limited metrics because for whatever reason at their pro days, they didn't do all the drills. This is also kind of a difficult thing to do for this year, especially because there wasn't a combine. So pro days are very geared towards the players because the schools want to make sure that their players have good pro days. So keep that in mind when looking at this data, that this is not combine data. This is all data from pro days from this year's pool of classes. So what she did was she looked at what the median was for the positions of wide receiver, running back, linebacker, cornerback, safety, defensive end, and then she matched players that met that athletic profile within 4 calipers. So it means within 4-ish, in this range, there's like a range of where it was. So if they were in this specific range, they were considered in that profile. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we'll start with edges. So these are DEs in this draft class that hit all the measurables athletically that the Saints typically look for in edges. And then the limited metrics are players that hit some of it, but they have limited. So for limited, it's height, weight, 40-yard dash, vertical broad jump. All the metrics, bench, 3-cone, and shuttle are included. So when I look at this, I'm gonna be honest, don't know most of these players, but someone that is getting first round buzz and hype is Azeez Ojulari. And then this is your guy right here.
I'm not seeing it on the screen.
No?
No.
I know why. Solid. There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry. So you see the median breakdown across the board so I said all that not knowing that you guys couldn't see the screen. I apologize. So this is the median breakdown from 2006-2020. Anything position wise that just kind of jumps out to you?
Like I thought, they like big wide receivers, even though Brandon Cooks was outlier.
Kind of outlier, yeah.
Big safeties.
And something that was interesting regarding the cornerbacks is that she noticed that over the years, so the median height is 5'11". Over the years, since Jeff Ireland has started drafting, that height has jumped up to 6'1" in terms of the median.
Yeah, and I think that carries over to across the league.
Yep.
Just drafting big corners. So that's interesting. Running back 5'10", let's expect that to change. Safety. Speeds make sense. Yeah, that kind of matches up with what you see.
Yes, absolutely. It was interesting to me that for defensive ends, edges, and it kind of makes sense if you look at Cameron Jordan and you look at Marcus Davenport, they like their edges big.
Yeah, they like big edges.
And I think historically, the Saints have geared towards more power rushers than speed rushers.
Mm-hmm.
Just historically.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they would draft a what's my dude I really like came out of Clemson, Vic Beasley. Yeah, I don't. That's not them. They want big Parcells-esque, like Jeff Ireland, Sean Payton, they all come to Parcell, just big, big, long defensive edge players. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want.
They do. Absolutely. So sticking with DEs. So again, all the metrics hit on everything: height, weight, 40-yard dash, vertical, bench, broad jump, 3-cone, shuttle. Limited metrics is only the height, weight, 40-yard dash, vertical, and broad jump, just because not every player at their pro day did all the drills. Some decided to skip some drills. So the only first rounder ish that hits all the metrics is Azeez Ojulari, edge rusher from Georgia, which is interesting because like watching him play, he kind of like, if you just watch him, he goes kind of against what you would think the Saints would be, because he's a slender speed rusher type of edge rusher rather than like a power edge rusher. And then go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that just doesn't it feel like a Saints pick?
A little bit. Like
nobody was talking about, you know what I'm saying? It's just like Azeez Ojulari. It's like, oh, okay. Like, it's like you wouldn't hate it, but you just like,
yes, that's a perfect, like, yeah, that's perfectly how I would feel. Like, I will say though, shout out to my guy, Don Shipley, covers the Jags for Sports Illustrated, doing a great job covering the Jags. He compared Azeez Ojulari to Ndakwe. And ever since he said it, like, I cannot unsee it. Can't unsee it. Highlighted your guy, Gregory Rousseau. His limited metrics, but athletic profile wise, he does hit on what the Saints historically have drafted in their edge rushers.
Interesting.
I asked her if Jalen Phillips made the list.
Didn't make it.
Yeah, I'll see if that was like a mistake or what have you. Also, she didn't include him on this list. One player in the draft who is a completely outlier in terms of how he tested, because he tested so exceptionally, is Jason Oeh from Penn State. Blew up his pro day, but didn't have any sacks last season. Had a lot of pressures, and I'm just like, I don't know.
That just tells you, man, these pro days, like, how are teams?
Come on, man.
Calculating this, like, I don't know. That shit is fascinating.
It is super fascinating. So I just asked her about Jalen Phillips, and so what she said was these Calipars. So she matched them in terms of, how do I explain this? Like in a way that makes sense. If they're within a certain range of those numbers, that's how she matched them. So the reason Jalen Phillips isn't on the list was because he was 0.2 seconds lower for his 40 time in the median. But every other metric besides his 40 time, he hit. Yeah. That makes sense.
Right.
Going into a position that not a lot of people think that the Saints may draft, but I just get a feeling, man, like they're gonna, like, you know, Malcolm's getting old, bro. Like, he's old. Like, he looked old in certain plays last season. I don't think that they'll take a safety round one. But if they do, I highlighted Richie Grant as a prospect who's getting kind of like that late round one, round two buzz. Javon Holland is a player that was at Oregon. He opted out completely this last year. He was listed as like the top safety before he opted out. Now, because he opted out, no one really knows where he's going to go. And just for the LSU Twitter, I'm just going to highlight Jacoby Stevens, because he is a safety at he's a safety that was at LSU. But it seems like for safety, a big thing for them is the shuttle time. And the shuttle and the cone, in terms of having lower scores for the shuttle and the cone.
Interesting.
All right, here we go, bro. Linebacker. Here we go. All right. My dude, one of my favorite players in the draft, Javon Collins, hits on limited metrics. A play, and this, keep in mind when we're talking about these numbers, these are just athletic numbers. It has nothing to do with tape study, nothing to do with, this is just profiles historically, athletically that the Saints have drafted. That's it. Nothing tape-wise in them. But there he is, Damon Davis, bro. His tape is boo-boo, bro. Boo-boo.
Hey, I told you how I feel about linebackers, bro. I'm done. My nuts have been cut, man. And people I respect, like Greg Cosell loves him. Daniel Jeremiah loves him to death. I looked at him like a game and a half, and I was just like, I don't see it.
I don't see it, bro.
I don't see it.
Darren Lee Bobs all over again, bro. I don't get it. One player that I tweeted out that I can see the Saints drafting is Peter Warren, Ohio State. So he hits on Ohio State, hits on Big Ten. He hits all the athletic metrics in terms of the Saints to draft that linebacker, and he's a white linebacker, bro.
What?
That's not a Saint, bro. Don't know what is. I even tweeted, I was like, there's some hella high water. Peter Warren's gonna be a Saint come draft.
Yeah, I can see him definitely getting drafted.
This is cornerback. Trying to get everyone on the screen here. All right, so these are all the athletic metrics that hit. So we got Asante Samuel Jr., got everyone's favorite Greg Newsome. Caleb Farley's not on the list because he only had height and weight. He didn't have a pro day because of his back.
Back out of me.
Makes sense.
But he'd be on the list.
For sure. It's not interesting. I think Tony Pauline, when he came on the show, made a great point, is that when you watch Greg Newsome play, like he tested a very low 40 time, but like I think he said 4.4. But man, like I don't like, just like you said, like I don't see it consistently.
No,
like he plays, his playing speed is not a 4.4 playing speed.
When you watch him, he plays a lot of cover 3 in that scheme.
Yes.
Which I think is interesting. I don't know how the Saints will look at that. Last year, they played a low percentage of cover 3. Years prior to that, they played more of a high percentage of cover 3. But Greg Newsome plays it really well. Like he understands.
He does
that concept. So I don't know how they look at that. And with cover 3 is like, I don't know. Even though you end up man to man at some points throughout the route concepts, a lot of times he just didn't have a chance to really fly downfield with guys. Like it just didn't really play like that. I like his game personally. I just like few little things I look at for in the cornerback, how they play, how they flip, how they react. Just a few little things I saw from him. I just see that he'll be a solid cornerback. I don't think he'd ever be like a true number 1 CB. I don't know. I'll question that. But I think he would be like just a good, solid cornerback, like solid cornerback number 2. You know what I'm saying? Dependable. Probably didn't shut down everybody, but you know what I'm saying? Like just a good cornerback, and if you get somebody like that at 28, that's fine. Versus like a Caleb Fairley, he's a CB1.
Oh, all day, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
All day.
Period. Like there's no debate about that to me. The debate has nothing to do with his football skills.
Just that back.
Back it out of me, bro. Like
the doctor said I need to back it out of me.
That's all. That's it, man. That's it.
Let's go ahead. Let's switch it to let's see if I can fit them all in here. I think I got them. Let's switch to offensive side of the ball. Wide receiver. This is it. This is the position that everyone, Everyone wanna see if the Saints will draft. So I'm just gonna highlight the guys that fit, that who have been mocked to the Saints, that are getting first round buzz. So I'm bolding their names. So Kadarius Toney hits every metric the Saints look for. Slightly undersized, according to what my girl said, that the Saints have historically gone for.
She probably snuck him in just for you, bro. Like,
no, she didn't, bro. She didn't.
She's a scientist. I know she wouldn't do that.
true love, though, if she would have. Although true love, regardless. So Kadarius on the list. Amon-Ra St. Brown at USC, not a first round talent, but I know Saints fans potentially want him to be drafted in the second round. He's fine. After watching Michael Pittman last year and watching him, they're two completely different players.
Did he play last year?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He did. The number one player that hits the Saints profile in terms of what they look at in wide receiver out the park, like every single metric completely, is a player that they have been heavily linked to through the draft process. It's Josh Amore-Bebe, baby.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Man.
Every metric.
I was just watching him, bro. I was like,
I tweeted this a couple of weeks ago, and I was doing like an exercise where before the pod, I was trying to put like round projections for each player. I didn't have enough time to do that, but I was using NFL Network or NFL.com, using fucking Lance Zierlein's whatever scouting reports, and like his like range he's supposed to go in the draft is like round 5 or round 6, and I was like, what? Listen, I tweeted when I watched him 2-3 weeks ago, he reminded me of a mini DK Metcalf.
Bruh, like I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it, bro.
He's not as fast, bro.
No, he's not. He's not. But when I was watching him, I was like,
when you watch him play, he is a mini DK Metcalf, bro. Like, yeah, man. He's a dog. And
he's a dog, bro.
He hits every metric. My girl said he's the one. Like, she was crunch. Numbers was crunch. She said, this is the one, through the roof. And it's so funny talking to her now with the numbers being crunched, also knowing beforehand that the Saints have been on Josh Amore-Bebe's ass all draft season, bruh.
When I watched him, I said, I could just envision Jameis Winston throwing to this dude. I could see it.
Just throwing that bitch, bro.
Just throwing it like that's somebody he needs. And it's something that the Saints have needed, in my opinion. They just need that big, go-get-it wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, I completely get it if that was a guy. I don't know about first round, maybe second round or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, that would be a guy I could see them targeting. That Sean Payton would look at the metrics.
Yep.
Be like, ooh, and then he'll look at the tape and like, ooh, and then he'll probably talk to him. And I don't know, maybe he's a nice guy, whatever. You'd be like, oh, I can just see him in there. You know, just Bible study and all that, you know.
Bro, you know, you got Mike Thomas, you got Amore-Bebe right next to him. Like, I'm just saying, bro.
I definitely, like, Saints fans should really keep an eye on that.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. It's probably not. It's not going to be round 1, but round 2, round 3. Just saying, keep an eye.
And I think, I mean, was Lovie Smith head coach of Illinois this past season? You know, him and Lovie are good friends. Like Sean and Lovie are good friends. Like, trust me, like Sean Payton got the 411. If like ABB is like a good guy, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever. You know, like just good. You know, he knows the info.
He does. Just like Sean was getting all the details from can't think of his name. Stanford head coach, black guy with him. Same thing. We should know our black head coach's name, bro.
That's a damn shame. I should know his name.
David Shaw.
David Shaw. Yeah.
Got my black card still here in my pocket. All right, we got players. So Josh, you know what? I need to learn to say this man's name because I am very confident that somehow he's going to be a Saint. Josh, hey baby, I'll learn it when he gets drafted. Was the number one player that met the Saints metrics in terms of athletic profile wide receiver. The second player was Rashad Bateman.
I like him.
Rashad Bateman. He doesn't hit he's a little under the height metric. He's a little under the weight metric.
Man, he plays big though.
But that's so funny because I told my girl the same thing.
When I watched him, I wouldn't look up his height. I was like,
he's 6'1".
I was like, I thought he was like a 6'4" guy. You know what I'm saying?
6'3", 6'4", 6'1". Plays big. And I believe she said Terrence Marshall was like number 3 in terms of athletic profiles.
I like Terrence Marshall. I like him. Yeah.
Man, I like him. How do I word this? Like I like him, but I also feel like he's kind of milquetoast. Like that sounds weird to say.
Yeah. It's just like, I feel like he's kind of like a rich man's Traquan. You know, playing the SEC.
That's a great comparison, bro.
So he's probably like, but it's just like
that's a great analogy. I love it.
You know, I don't know.
I
don't know.
So I'm just saying, draft is upcoming. This name right here, look out for it, guys. I'm saying, I just have a feeling they gonna end up with him somehow, some way.
Saints got to get a wide receiver.
They got to, bro.
They got to, man.
My girl was just going through the data, and she was like, the Saints haven't drafted a wide receiver in 7 years.
That's crazy.
Take that back. They drafted 2 wide receivers in 7 years. Traquan, Mike Thomas. 7 would be, so 3. Sorry, Brandon Cooks, Mike Thomas, Traquan. That's it.
And they're good at it. And the thing is, they're good at it. Like,
come on, man. Shit. I forgot you guys can't see the screen. I put the chart back up, but I didn't share that screen. Anyway, sorry. It's okay. Learn this shared screen thing on the fly. And then we'll end with running backs. Just because I could see them adding one at some point. Like I know it, like, you know, Latavius is a good running back, but he's like the forgotten man, bro. Like nobody remembers Latavius like at all.
Nobody, bro.
Okay, let me take Travis because it's not that they can be a target. A player that I can see them being interested in is Trey Sermon. He is on the limited metrics. He was going off for the Buckeyes. And then in one of the playoff games, broke his clavicle. So he is limited metrics. People say, and I haven't watched him, people say that Javonte Williams is the best running back in the draft. I am partial to Najee Harris myself. But people rave about Javonte Williams. Believe he's slated to go in the second round. And then just some players that some people will know.
Yeah, Chuba.
And people rave about Khalil Hill too. I would say this. It wouldn't shock me at all if the Saints drafted a running back like in the second or third round, only because they were infatuated with Jonathan Taylor last year.
Yeah.
Infatuated with him as a player.
Yeah. And then you see how he turned out. Like, he started off slow, but man, he blew the fuck up.
Infatuated with him as a player.
And they could use that, man.
They could. And
that doesn't affect AK at all. Like
no. And that was so that little draft tidbit is a credit to Nick Underhill because he told me that last season before the draft, before we stopped talking, they were infatuated with JT, Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. So that's the data.
Can't argue with data, bro.
You really can't, man. Now it's always part of the puzzle. It should always go back to tape. That should be the biggest factor. But it's like going back to the whole Kyle Shanahan thing, man. Teams in the NFL, they all have a type. Now, if you want to get super deep, you can, do you look at the types that, a point that my girlfriend brought up is like, okay, we're looking at this data, particularly to the Saints, but how do we know that that what they look for isn't drastically different than X team looks for at the position? Right. We ain't got all time for that. So just going by what the Saints have done, and I know it's kind of hard to compare eras because you had Ryan Pace was leading some of the draft, then it's Jeff Ireland, what have you. But just going off athletic profiles, the Saints have a type, and that's why I think it's just so hard to move people in the NFL off their types. Kyle Shanahan has a type, like we know what his type is. Just stop sharing the screen right now. We know what his type is, and I feel like John Lynch is like, but have you thought about this though? Trying to get him to move off his type, and that's just a hard thing to do in the NFL.
And that could be what's going on now with the San Francisco, with the 49ers. Like, you pick it at 3, you know what I'm saying? So you got a choice of your quarterbacks. Okay, Zach Wilson, or you assume Zach Wilson, and Trevor Lawrence is off the board. So you have Trey Lance, you have Mac Jones, you have Justin Fields, you have Trask. I mean, you have those options. Get all the data you need to make the best opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. No, we good.
Okay. Yeah. It's so funny, bro. I just feel like John Lynch is just trying to tell Kyle, like, sit down, just look at him with me, please. Like,
show me.
Just look at Justin. Look at Trey. Kyle, like, no.
I find it so fascinating. I just want to see, how it works out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because none of what they do in the draft doesn't mean anything. If they draft Mac Jones, people are gonna rip him to death, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see how that plays out.
Because if they draft Mac Jones and he goes on to be Kirk Cousins, like, is that a terrible pick?
Kirk Cousins has been one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league for the last couple of years. So
I'm just saying, man. Like, and it's so funny. I was watching. I don't even know why I was doing this, bro. I was watching some Jalen Waddle yesterday. Oh, bro, he just different. And I was watching, there was this highlight cut up of Jalen Waddle's career from his freshman season in Alabama to his junior season, and once it goes later on in his career, and you see Mac Jones throwing, I was just like, man, if this not a fucking Kyle Shanahan quarterback, I don't know what it is, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, man. Kyle Shanahan, I could understand him saying, I just want my guy.
Yeah.
I just want my guy that's going to run my
system.
He's a system coach. You know what I'm saying?
System quarterback, system running back.
Yeah, that's what he wants. So that makes sense to me. All the off script, outside of structure shit.
He don't care about. He don't care. I think, and I told my girl this because again she's a 49ers fan. I think it scares him. Like he's such an OCD. It's my system. I want it ran this way. He doesn't want that Patrick Mahomes. Like he was there at 2, bruh. They could have drafted Patrick Mahomes. They could have drafted Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's all like that was 2017. That was 3 years ago. Not a lot has changed in 3 years, bro. Maybe John Lynch is saying, bro, we went to the Super Bowl. We had Jimmy G, and you know why we got beat? Because that quarterback on the other side.
Yeah,
he's dynamic.
He did a damn 18-step drop and chucked that motherfucker down.
That's why we lost, right? And I can see him saying like, this is what, like, I think John Lynch is trying to say, like, this is the edge we need in today's NFL to be successful and to get over the hump and win a Super Bowl. And Kyle Shanahan can just be like, bro, we got some Super Bowl with fucking Jimmy G. Like, give me my guy. I guess, and obviously Kyle Shanahan, he's drafting Matt Jones. He thinks he's an upgrade over Jimmy G. Let me get my guy. I'll show you what I can. It's fascinating, man. It's completely fascinating.
It is.
To be just to be a fly in that fucking room, just to hear those debates, man. It's
I mean, that's what I'm waiting on, man. I can't wait to do the live stream because, like, we know what 1 and 2 gonna be. It's like, man, I'm just waiting on 3. Like,
3, bro.
Come on, let's go.
Because that's what, bro. I was thinking about putting some money on 3. I was like, I'll put some down, and end up looking foolish when Roger Goodell saved Trey Lance, bro. I'd be like,
I mean,
oh shit, how much did I put down?
I don't know.
We'll find out. Is there any player that if the Saints decide to trade up, right? We've kind of already established they ain't trading down. But they decide to trade up that wasn't for a quarterback. Are there any players in this draft that you could say, I'm okay with them giving up future draft capital to go get this player?
It's gonna piss people off.
Uh-oh.
And it ain't gonna happen because I don't think he'd fall. But if they traded up, I'm gonna be so mad. And drafted the Oregon OT, Penei Sewell. I'll be fine with it, bro. I'll be okay. But man,
Twitter would explode.
Oh man, I probably would record Twitter, bro, because they would just like,
pass me the Penei.
Like, you have Teron Olstead. What are you doing?
Hey, Ryan. When we have a vision of a player, he was the best player on our board.
You know what I'm saying? Say he dropped a 15. I don't know. I mean, for whatever reason, he dropped a 15. You know what I'm saying? Maybe put out a little Twitter with a gas mask on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Sean Payton be like, I'm not doing that again. I'm going to get my guy. No, but seriously, like, if they traded up for like Waddle,
that's to me is the only player. That's it.
Man, like,
that's it.
Like, that would tell me so much about their thinking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they trade up for Waddle, I mean, like, man, they're about to go in with Jameis. Like, they about to just see what it do. Like, you're just going in and just let him sling it. And man, that would just like, that'd be like, it would be exciting. Like, it'd be like, you know, Reggie Bush. Yeah, you know, when they signed Reggie Bush, like, just that excitement of like, okay, you know, I just can't. That'll give me that just kind of that spark.
I think. Hold on, I'm going to pull up right now. And his range, he's the only. To just be fair, he's the only player that I would want them to trade up for that is not a quarterback, right? He is my number one draft bay of this entire draft. I've hit on some draft bays in the past. I've missed on some draft bays in the past too. So I think that the range of where they would need to go to get him, is like 11 or 12, bro.
Yeah, I mean, where did my guy go with the Raiders last year?
Henry Ruggs. Let's see. think he's a better wide receiver than Henry Ruggs. He went
2.
This is very exciting podcasting. 12th.
Yeah, that's their range.
Yep. Sure is.
I don't think he's gonna go top 10, you know.
I couldn't. The only team I could see drafting him in top 10 is maybe Detroit. That's it. I could see Detroit pulling the trigger. But I think if you want to get him, you're gonna have to. Which, oh God, I'm about to cry when I say this. You're gonna have to pull the Chiefs trade. They traded from 27 and went to 10 and drafted Mahomes. The Saints got to go, basically, they would have to go from 28 to 10. And I think the 49ers have completely fucked up the curve in terms of what you would need to give up to go that way.
I agree. They have fucked up the curve.
Like, it's done, bro.
It ain't going to be no one future pick. Like, it ain't going to be no one future first.
No.
It's going to be multiple.
49ers went from 12 to 3 and gave up two future first rounders and either a second or third. Like, that curve is fucked. It's done. Done. So I don't see them trade unless Waddle starts to fall, which I can't see. I think he's going to go in that 10, 11. Like, the team I just see him going to, and I don't know what it is. I just see him going to the Chargers, bro. I don't know.
Oh, man.
I don't know what it is.
Man. You know what? I'm going to get that fucking Chargers/Saints jersey. You heard me? Like, I'm gonna get that bitch, dog.
Get that Breeze one, bro.
Get that Breeze. I'm telling you, I seen it, bro. I'm gonna get that bitch, dog. Like
Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, and Jalen.
Oh, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan.
Right. That's popcorn. And as a defense, and shout out to our guy John Shipley. He just says, like, I don't know how a team is going to consistently defend him. Like, you watch him play, it's insane. He's that good. My favorite player in this entire draft. And it's so funny because the more I watch Kadarius Toney, and I love him as a player, we don't know what the Saints offense is anymore, man.
Nah, man.
We don't know what it is, bro. And if this was a Drew, like you said, if this was a Drew Brees-led team, like, that's a perfect Drew pick.
Oh.
Perfect Drew pick. But with Jameis, is Kadarius the guy?
I don't know.
I don't know about that fit, bro. I really don't.
I don't know. I've been watching, like, Jameis highlights, and he is just so reactive to pressure. I'm not going to say he's, like, runs from pressure, but he reacts to it, and he's looking downfield. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just so curious to see how that translates in the Saints offense, man. If that changes with his time with the Saints offense, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just can't wait to see. It's so fascinating to me, bro. It's like it's a fascinating season, man. We'll see.
It is. It is. But we hit on the data. We hit on past Saints trends, potentially predicting the future. Again, shout out to my girl J-Ron. Super talented, super nerdy. She loved doing this getting this data information together for me for over the weekend. She did a weekend project. I was very excited to do it. She was like, I really do this, and
she was doing the V lookups and all that. I know she was rolling, man.
She was, bro. And I was trying to get like the Spark scores and figure that's impossible to fucking find.
Yeah, the formula is out there. I ain't got time to be.
Yeah.
Especially this year with like the fucked up scores from the pro days.
That's probably inflated. But it's almost here. This is the week before the draft. It's it's upon us. I'm just hoping this shit speeds by. Just like you said, man. I'm tired. Look at my phone. There's a fucking mass shooting here, mass shooting there.
Oh.
Everything's going like, can someone in the NFL just do something just to take my mind off the fucking world? Like a trade, a signing, something, shit.
Something.
Oh, God. We don't got no money, though. I don't know why I'm talking like that. But I'm not saying the Saints, bro. Just the lead. Just do something. But with that, we have a packed weekend ahead. Tomorrow, we're recording with the amazing Sophia Gad Nassar, talking about black holes, talking about wormholes. And I'm just going to spill the beans. We don't need to keep it a secret. Friday, Greg Cosell coming on the show, talking about draft. You know, we're gonna be in our little football heaven. You know, like woo, and this is the first time like we've talked to Greg about the Saints and things like that. This is the first time we've been able to talk to Greg about draft prospects, draft process.
Right. Before the draft, too.
Before the draft, and even maybe talk to him about what, like, from an outsider's perspective, as someone who has a football knowledge that Greg has, what does he think the Saints need? Like, is it a linebacker? Is it a wide receiver? Is it a cornerback? Like, what does he think the Saints need? And Greg, you know, I love Greg. He don't like to stick his
Yeah, he's not. You don't want no hot takes, nothing like that.
Nothing like that, bro.
This is what I see on the film.
Love Greg, bro. Love him. Like Greg, what you see on the film in terms of the depth chart, what the Saints need, bro? Tell them what they need.
I know you got some opinion. I know you're like, damn, that linebacker sucked. You know, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Greg, just open up a little bit, baby. Hey, baby. But with that, we're gonna get out of here. We have a very busy, packed week of episodes coming your guys' way this upcoming week. And then next week it's the live stream. I'm gonna play around with the YouTube live thing tomorrow, kind of work out some kinks, things like that, so it's all running smoothly on draft night. This is it. Like we gotta enjoy this, because after the draft, bro, we don't got shit else, nothing else. That's it.
Players like fuck y'all, we chilling.
See y'all,
players ain't even showing up.
We see y'all in May.
Players like we see y'all in August. We ain't showing up.
So we're gonna have a lot of off-topic Saints fucking podcasts coming up, because we ain't gonna have no football shit to talk about. Like, we'll have our draft recap episodes. We'll talk about that, but after that, it's gonna be dead as hell. But with that, we're gonna get out of here. We out.
Peace.